Hi, Sophia. Okay, so last week we talked about all the seasons. So, everybody tell me what the seasons are. What are the seasons? Spring, yep. Summer, fall, and what season are we in now, Elijah? We're in winter. So last week we made this beautiful display. So we made this beautiful display that a little bit shows us how the seasons work. And I told you that we were going to talk about it, and I was going to explain it to you this week, because this week we're going to talk about how the seasons work. Richard Bird, don't do that. Okay, so what is something that describes the winter? What's it feel like outside in the winter? It is
fall.
Cold in the wintertime. Very good. And how does it feel in the summertime? Hot in the wintertime. Very good. And how does it feel in the fall?
Winter.
What's the weather like in the fall?
Cold.
It's cool, right? Yeah, it's not quite cold like the winter time, but it's not hot like the summertime. It's cool, so it's in between, right? And then what's it like in the spring? Hi. What's it like in the spring? It's kind of cold, kind of hot still, like sort of like in the fall, but it's getting warmer in the spring, right? In the fall, it's getting, in the fall, it's getting cooler, and in the spring, it's getting warmer. But it's still about the same temperature each time of year. Okay. And all of those weather and the types of weather that we have in all of our seasons are determined by the way the earth rotates around the sun in a year. So that is why we have our seasons. It's because of the way the earth rotates and orbits. That's what the word I wanted. It is because of the way the earth rotates, so how it spins on its axis, and also how the earth orbits around the sun. So both of those things come into play for why we have the seasons and why the weather is like it is during those seasons that we have throughout the year. Okay, so all of that to explain, we are going to watch a little video here to introduce us to the weather and why we have and do what we do, okay? And then I'll come back and tell you a few more things. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Ready. I'm a ma'am, Elijah.
We just had the most amazing family vacation.
Space. It's really cool. Actually, it's really cold and really big and really awesome.
Space has inspired a lot of us to do a lot of really cool things, but probably one of the best things it's inspired many of us to do is just simply learn about it. The more we learn about stars, other planets, galaxies, and asteroids, the more we learn about the universe and even ourselves. So let's start this off by talking about one specific star, one that's really close to us.
The sun!
Pop quiz. What's the closest star to Earth? It's called Sol. Never heard of it, you say? Sure you have. Sol is the sun. Ancient Romans, who once worshipped the sun, called it Sol, and it's become the kind of official scientific name for the sun. It's where the term solar system comes from. Sol, or the sun, is the star at the center of our 8-planet solar system that provides us with energy. Without the sun, Earth would be a dark, frozen world with no life. But how does the sun's energy get to us? Well, first, let's talk about what the sun is. It's a 5 billion year old big ball of super hot gas. The hottest part of the sun is its core, or center, which is about 15 million degrees Celsius. Whoa. Its surface is not quite as hot, but it's still almost 5,600 degrees Celsius, which is pretty toasty if you ask me. And as for its size, the sun is so huge, you could line up over 100 Earths along the face of it, and more than 1 million Earths could fit inside it. But the sun's size isn't what makes it seem so big and bright to us on Earth. It's because it's so close to us that it seems way, 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 way bigger and brighter than other stars. So, you know that the sun is hot. and bright. And that heat and light are both kinds of energy that we get from the sun. Let's take a look at a model to see how the sun's energy gets from good old Sol to our planet. Here's the sun. Energy is created in its super hot 15 million degree core. That energy then travels outward from the core to the surface of the sun. But this journey from the center of the sun to its surface can take over 100,000 years to complete. But once the energy deep inside the sun finally gets to the surface, it travels as light and heat all the way to Earth. In fact, it only takes about 8 minutes for light to travel approximately 150 million kilometers through space to Earth over here. That's not such a long time. So to sum up, energy is created in the sun's core. It travels very slowly to the sun's surface before it takes a super speedy trip to Earth in the form of light and heat. And you and I can see and feel that energy as sunlight. Without the heat and light we get from the sun, Earth would be just a frozen ball floating around in space, which would be a total bummer. So, thanks, Sol. You're a real star. So yeah, the sun is big, really big. But understanding the universe is sometimes about perspective. The sun is big to us, sure, but it's nothing compared to the galaxy, or even some of the other stars. And compared to the universe, well, our sun is pretty tiny compared to the universe, because the universe is huge. How huge? The universe...
Okay, so it's important to know about the sun because the sun, what? Yes, so the sun is what is the orbit of the earth around the sun is what gives you the seasons. So that's knowing about the sun and knowing how big it is and that we're close to the sun warms our planet, and it warms our planet in just the right amount so that life, Elijah, Molly, so that life can exist on our planet. Okay, so Miss Regan's not sure that was the right video, so let me search real quick and make sure that that was the right edit. It doesn't seem right.
Unless it was like further into the.
Type. This would have been the right video.
Winter, spring, summer, fall. Seasons. I just love them all. Other than inspiring me to make up goofy poetry, why wouldn't you love the seasons? There's always something to look forward to. You already know that summer means long days of fun in the sun, and winter means shorter days, not to mention building snowmen and making lots of Frozen references. Okay, so clearly the sun and seasons are linked. But how? You already know that the sun is pretty important. It is the center of the solar system, after all. You also know that our planet, Earth, revolves around the sun, making its orbit once every 365 days. And remember, Earth isn't taking that lap while it's standing straight up and down. Instead, it's tilted on its axis, the invisible line around which our planet spins. Put together, the Earth's tilt on its axis and the orbit it makes around the sun, and you get the yearly pattern we call seasons. Let's see how. Since the Earth is tilted, for part of the year, one of the hemispheres, which is half of the Earth, is leaning toward the sun, and the other part of the year, it's leaning away. Let's follow the northern hemisphere once around the sun to see how this works. In June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. This means that it's getting a lot of direct sunlight, light that's hitting it straight on. If you've ever sat directly underneath a bulb, you know that things can get pretty hot, and that's exactly what's happening to the northern hemisphere. It's summertime and the living is easy. Temperatures are warm and days are long. In December, though, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. It's getting indirect sunlight, meaning light is hitting it at an angle. Indirect sunlight means cooler temperatures, shorter days, and, for lots of folks, hot cocoa and bundling up since it's winter. But how can the angle of the sun's light make a difference between hot and cold? Well, try this little trick with a flashlight. Get a flashlight and dim the lights in your room a little bit. If you turn the flashlight on and point it straight down onto your desk, you'll see a small, bright, concentrated circle of light. That's kind of how sunlight hits the northern hemisphere during the summer. bright and intense. Now move the flashlight down at an angle and point it at the top of your desk. See how the light isn't as bright and is less intense where it falls? That's like the sunlight we get in winter. But what about spring and autumn? During these two seasons, the Earth's orbit causes the northern hemisphere to be neither tilted toward the sun nor away from it. So temperatures during the spring and fall are more moderate, not too hot and not too cold, since the entire globe is getting about the same amount of direct sunlight at once. Now, let's take a look at how the amount of sunlight affects temperatures in the northern hemisphere over the course of a whole year. An easy way to show this yearly pattern is by using a graph. This graph shows the average high temperature in each month for 1 year in Toronto, Canada, where I live. Looking at the graph, we see that during December, January, and February, when the northern hemisphere is getting very little direct sunlight, temperatures are low. And in the months of June, July, and August, when the tilt of the Earth on its axis is causing Toronto to get direct sunlight, the temperatures are much higher. Proof positive that something is going on here, and that something is this. The season that you're experiencing right this very minute is caused in part by the amount of direct sunlight you're getting. So, seasons are caused by the Earth's tilt on its axis as it cruises around the sun in its orbit. When one hemisphere gets more direct sunlight, it's summer there. Temperatures are warmer, days are longer, and nights are shorter. And when it gets more indirect sunlight, it's winter. Temperatures are cooler, days are shorter, and nights are longer. And now you know what causes summer, spring, autumn, and winter.
You heard that the Earth is on an invisible axis, which makes it kind of tilt. And if you look at your the diagram that we made, there should be a little black dot at the top of your globe, each globe, and a little black dot at the bottom of your globe. Did everybody see that? Yep. Those are the axes. So, or that is the spot where you're supposed to put the axes. So, what I want you to do is take your pencil and draw a little line coming out of both of those spots so that it looks like it has an axis, okay? Everybody get your pencil out. Get your pencil out, Richard.
And my marker.
You can just get your pencil. See, and I want you to do like this and put a line here and a line here so it looks like the globe is on the axis, okay? Yours kind of got tilted a little funny, but that's okay. There you go. Good job.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep, you do it too. To all of them. Good job. Oh, no, at the dot. Make the line coming out of the dot. Okay. No, today.
Okay.
We're not gonna finish it today, I don't think. Yeah, because we're taking up a lot of time here.
I could try it.
We're on to it.
I could try it.
Yeah, put it
Right
at the
here?
dot. Yeah. No,
These.
the dot. See the black dot? Put a line there. Good. Now down here too. Richard and Molly have it. They're just making it like it's on an axis because we need that to know that. Okay, so your globe is on an axis because listen, look, we live over here on your globe, okay? Yeah, we live over here on each of your globes. So during the fall, our globe is facing away from the sun. So it's not as warm. But you can see over here on summer and springtime, where we live is in direct sunlight, or it's closer to the sun. So that is how we get all of the, that's how, like she was talking about with the flashlight, that's how we get the direct sunlight from the sun, is because we are on this side of the globe, so we are getting the sunlight from the sun. All right, Miss Reagan has some pictures up here too. So, see, this is what I wanted you, this is what you put in there. You see the axis, see the line coming out on top, that's what you put on your interpretation here, so that you could see that's how we work. That's the axis is what I'm trying to say. So then the sun rays hit the side of the globe, and that is how we get our seasons, is how the sunlight hits our globe. So, so here we go. So you can see this says June solstice. It's really blurry, but the part that I liked was that you can see that this half of the earth is lit up, right? Because the sun is directly on it. We have the same thing here, but it's just flopped. We just have it flipped. So we have the summer on one side and the winter on the other side. But the winters but we have it in the right order. So see, September, we're not getting a whole lot of either one. And then here in December, you're only getting half again, but we're on this dark half, so we're on the cold half of the globe that time. And then up here, it says the whole thing, but it's still spinning. So so we're getting warmer up here at the top. So just like down here on ours. Okay?
Okay.
So that is clear as mud.
Okay.
I feel like I've really butchered that. Okay, the part that is important to all of this is what's important to this is we have seasons because of where the earth is located around the sun. That's an easy way of trying to explain it and just to sum it up, okay? We have seasons because of where the earth is located around the sun. Okay? All right. I'll try to do better tomorrow explaining. Sorry, Sophia. Bye.
Bye, Sophia. Take the mom with me home.